Okay, that's a long way away. I'm winded. Welcome, everybody. This is Graze number 8 from the Llamas. I'm Cogsy. I've got KMets here today from Aladdin and FX. Is it FX or F of X?
You know that it's kind of up to the user's choice. We've heard it even called function protocol, which is kind of cool. But internally, we just call it, FX or F of X.
Okay, I thought I was going to get, like burned like I did last week for calling GIFs. If I call it F of X, it's like it kind of reminds me of the C of X joke that we had for convex.
That's what I was about to say. It's the right crowd for it. C of X.
C of X.
C of X.
Function.
There you go.
So the website is like incredible. You know that already, obviously. The front end is like you've talked about it on Twitter. You posted, "Hey, if this is not simple enough for you, I can't help you. Go elsewhere."
Who posted that?
Oh, I thought that was you.
No, well, I think it is. I mean, especially like you've got like the statistics up, and that's like sort of an optional feature. You can always turn that off if you don't like numbers. But it's our prettiest website, honestly. Quite frankly, we have obviously Aladdin has Concentrator and CLEV as well, and those are very simple user interfaces as well. So hopefully people find the FX function protocol website useful as well.
Oh, sorry, I jumped right into the front end stuff. I didn't give you a chance to do your intro, KMets.
No, that's no. My goodness, if you're in this community and you don't know who I am by now, my goodness, where you been? But my name's KMets. I'm with Aladdin DAO. I am one of their core contributors. I help promote and build their newest product that you guys are really interested in, are actually going to be part of the booster program, the FX protocol. So let me know. What do you guys want to know about FX?
Well, I was listening to your last your A team catch-up call with Cryptovester, who's also in here, and we were just touching on FX on L2s. I'm really interested to see what your vision is for that, and how you see that kind of growing out and organically forming.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's going to be kind of interesting with oh man, there's DeFi Advisor. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, guys. What's up? How are you?
Doing well,
Hey.
sir.
All
So
good?
yeah, so I mean, L2s for F of X is really exciting. It's Aladdin has mostly been on mainnet. We've had ACRV, which is auto compounding CVX CRV on Polygon before, and so that was just kind of a way to sort of earn CVX CRV returns on Polygon, and so we just had liquidity on there. You couldn't like mint it, but same thing with FX though. We're gonna have both. Well, all three FETH, xETH, and FXN will be bridgeable to. At the moment, it's Arbitrum and BNB. And then in the near future, we'll be going to all the chains if as we can, and liquidity everywhere. So you can get all of those, you can bridge those over. There's not much to do with them right now, really, other than just like hang out and start your own pool somewhere if you want. But we'll be seeding some liquidity initially on Balancer, and mainly that's just because we've had familiarity with working with Balancer before. We'll be seeding a xETH pool, and xETH is, you sit there and you think about it, and xETH is like just about like one of the coolest products. It's a DeFi primitive in our opinion, and very unique. It's leveraged ETH. And you can't get liquidated. There's no funding fee cost. It's basically like holding like ultra excitable ETH. It goes up, you know, um, at a leveraged amount that the price movements of ETH do, and then it goes down at a leveraged movement of price that ETH moves. So xETH ETH will be a liquidity pool. It'll be on Balancer. It'll be on Arbitrum here, probably I would say within the next week or so, and Aladdin will see the liquidity for it, and it will you'll be able to basically hold on to that, and you'll get yield on that. And so ideally, with sort of how liquidity pools work, is the yield should basically make up for the yield and fees transacted should theoretically make up for the impermanent loss on it. So I think xETH is actually like going to be like one of the more interesting LPs out there. Even though the impermanent loss isn't a risk on anything, and especially something like that. But I actually have an article I'm going to write here in the near future about how I think xETH is going to be like one of the more key LPs in the LSD space, Ethereum LSD space, and kind of want to. I'm still working on the article. I'm still fleshing it out, but I think it's going to be like a really good way to sort of like boost returns on LSDs in the future. But yeah, that's sort of like our L2 plan with FX right now. We're planning on going everywhere, and we're starting off with Arbitrum and BNB for people that use Binance. And it looks like you got the website up there, yeah. And you can see like we've got like almost like 2,800 ETH in the reserve that people have used to mint either fETH or xETH, and the collateralization ratio is actually really high. And this morning we actually like sent through some updates to the protocol. We're kind of like twiddling with the knobs a little bit to kind of like fine tune things. And one of the things that we put in is basically a way to we're trying to sort of like fine tune the range of leverage on xETH and sort of like fine tune the incentives for the rebalance pool for fETH. So for folks that are kind of new and aren't really familiar with the product, fETH is sort of our stable coin, right? We take ETH and we can split it into two different ones. fETH is sort of our stable coin, and with that stable coin, you can use it, wherever you like. It kind of moves at 10% of the price of ETH movements. xETH is the other half of that, and it sort of catches all the volatility that xETH gives up, or I'm sorry, that fETH gives up. And so the two kind of like, if you were to put them equally together, equal one ETH, one price movement of ETH. And so with the way the system is set up, it's collateralized such that it's a big giant, like like a loan you take out on Liquidity or something like that. And so the collateral ratio basically states, right now it's at 206%. So there's a lot of xETH in the system protecting fETH from the volatility of ETH price movements. And so we put in some new incentives now to try and keep the collateralization ratio between 130 and 200. And so that always ensures that xETH always has like a comfortable amount of leverage so that it's a desirable product.
Sorry, let me jump in on the XE thing. I had like a volatility question. It was driving me crazy because I couldn't get my stupid mic to queue up, so I stopped screen sharing. I didn't even ask you if you wanted to screen share. Of course, I'm over here like on some burner computer screen sharing. So, of course, you had like good stuff to show me. Like, like a slide deck and a pitch and all that.
No, not really. I don't have anything like too fancy other than
you just show me the front end. It looks so good. It's like a slide deck in itself. So my question about the leveraged ETH up and down. So obviously, if you're familiar with the options market, you understand that there's another Greek, like another the volatility is what can change those moves, right? Like if you're in a leveraged stupid stock fund, like one of those scam ETFs where like you're double long biotechs or whatever, on the upside you're like you're leveraged to the upside, and then on the downside they don't tell you this, but when the vol goes crazy, when the market's crashing like it has last week, then your losses accelerate to the downside. How do you guys keep xETH from having the being reacting to volatility?
Well, we have these safety modules in the protocol, stability mechanisms. And so when the collateral ratio, basically the ratio between fETH, our stablecoin, versus the reserve backing it, staked ETH, gets to 130, it basically these modules kick in, and that's the equivalent of xETH hitting a leverage of about 4x. And so once those do, like the ability to mint more fETH basically gets eliminated. Um, the minting incentives go up for xETH, and so by like you get like an extra 8% when this happens. And so uh, there's also the rebalance pool, which is basically this big giant pool that's of fETH. That's kind of like you can just kind of like put your fETH in and just kind of sit there. And actually today, it used to be you had to sit there for 2 weeks. Today it's now going to be I think once the multi-sig transaction goes through, you only have to keep it in there for a day. But if the collateral ratio ever goes below 130, that fETH starts getting launched back through the system to get redeemed as staked ETH. And so it will help increase the collateral ratio that way. We're also going to be launching a new rebalance pool here in the near future, one that basically takes fETH, where you can put your fETH, and it will send it through and mint xETH. And that one's actually going to be pretty cool, mainly just because when the collateral ratio is going down, that means that the price of ETH is decreasing usually, and so the system, the safest thing for it is actually to have xETH get injected into it. And so as I wrote an article a while back that like basically xETH is like this really cool way to kind of like time travel. And so and what I mean by that is because it's leveraged ETH. If ETH drops by say 10% and the leverage is like a 3x, then that's like the xETH price drops by like 30 something percent, which depending on what the price of ETH is at that point in time, it's almost like you can go back in time and buy ETH when it was like at a much lower price than it has been like recently. So to have fETH sitting there like a stable coin, and then to be able to buy this leveraged ETH at a much lower price, that's also at a much higher leverage level, which means when the price starts to recover, it's going to hopefully come back up very quickly. Um, so that's kind
Almost
of
like
like,
it could be used like a hedging tool.
yeah, exactly.
I can
Yeah.
see a way to use it like that. Um, that's unbelievable that you guys are getting that thing ready to like for your 1 day in and out type of deal, or single day transactions.
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting because obviously we're still kind of in beta mode here, and so we've been like watching it and trying to like kind of like determine, okay, like how is the system going to react in these market conditions, because they've somewhat improved a little bit over like the past like week or so, but it's still kind of like, well, are we in a bear market or a bull market? And so everybody's kind of like trying to figure out, but we've had like a tremendous amount of minting of fETH probably in this past week. And so it's what's funny is that like it increases the collateral ratio, but it also means that the price movements of xETH get dampened, right?
Yeah.
Um, so it's kind of interesting. You've got people that are like pretty excited and thinking that like, oh boy, here we go. We're on the edge of a bull run. Let's go mint some xETH. And it's kind of like the more people kind of rush in, that like the more it dampens down sort of the price movements. But so it'd be kind of interesting to see like how it all balances out here in the near future. And we're actually going to, one of the new changes for fETH that's gone through is the rebalance pool. Once the collateral ratio goes above 200, all of the LSD yields in the reserve will go to the rebalance pool for fETH. Right now, it's currently at 50%, but probably by Monday it will be receiving like double what it is now. And so right now the rebalance pool is at something like yeah, it's a little over 5.5%. So uh, probably by Monday you'll be able to put your stables in here and get somewhere in the range of about 10 to 11% single sided staked. So it should be like one of the highest, if not the highest yielding place for single sided staking
Wow.
stable coins in on mainnet at least. Yeah.
So that wait, okay. So hold on. So inside the FX protocol, have your fETH, which is your LSD. That's who you're targeting the LSD type people, right? With the fETH.
Oh well, fETH is like a stable coin.
Okay, that's
So
your. Oh, that's your. Okay,
yeah,
so I was thinking, and then your leverage play is the xETH on the other side.
there you go. Yeah.
So so you're going to be right now there's nowhere to go with stables. So the people that are stuck in stables are getting like 1.5% or some horse shit yield.
So, well, let me just clarify. Anyone can put their fETH into the rebalance pool, and we also have a couple of Curve LPs. There's a fETH CRV USD. There's a fETH Frax base pool, and I think there might be another one. I know there's a fETH silo that just launched today as well, and that's for sort of our upcoming partnership with Silo. But yeah, so there's definitely like a couple options on mainnet to put this together. But right now, you can put it in the rebalance pool and you get 5.5% on your stable. The fETH. But like by Monday, it should be like 11% or so.
That's insane. Okay, so so big time stable yield, and then that drives fees to you guys.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
That drives fees back to Aladdin.
The fees, the minting and redeeming of fETH and xETH make up pretty much the majority of revenue for the protocol, and those will get driven. Uh, let's see, 50%. I'm sorry, 75% go to VEFXN holders, and then 25% will go to the treasury. So like if like CVX FXN and then staked out FXN will get a lot of those fees going to them. So I mean, like holding those tokens will, I mean, those should be like huge revenue drivers.
The same tokens that us boosters just received.
Yes, yeah, yeah, exactly. And so actually claiming of those tokens will be probably live. Oh, probably like next week. We're kind of waiting on an audit um for the ETH to be distributed, the wrap staked ETH to be distributed to the locked token holders. But once that happens, then anyone that basically receives vested tokens, be it through the booster program, which is probably the most likely way you get them, and that's how sort of the llamas will, when they claim their #1 spot at the booster winnings, they'll be able to claim it either as regular FXN or as CVX FXN or staked out FXN while it's vesting. So I mean, right now those tokens are like pumping out at like I think somewhere like 60 to 80% APR, and so you'll be getting those rewards before those tokens are even able to be claimed. So it's kind of like man, Charlene's just like, I don't know if you guys know Charlene, but she's the founder of Aladdin DAO, and she kind of likes to keep a low profile, and she is absolutely brilliant. And she kind of came up with that idea. She came up with the idea for FX, and I love pumping up Charlene as much as possible. One of these days she'll poke her head out, but she's like, you'll see her on Discord, and you can have a conversation with her, or whatnot. But she likes to send me out because I just, me and Kruger, we like to be amongst the people. So. But yeah, I mean, FX has been really exciting development so far. It's been, I think, gosh, it's only been active since August 3rd, and since August 3rd, we basically have captured $5 million of reserves, 2,800 ETH, and like I said, like our growth program is very aggressive. We're trying to make partnerships with absolutely everybody we can. We've got a few that'll be coming out here. Oh gosh, within the next week or two, that are going to be pretty darn exciting. And we'll be, like I said, we'll be going multi-chain or omni-chain with Layer Zero, and bridging will be, all over the place. And so we think we think these are like really unique products, both fETH and xETH. And the fact that like they're only backed by stables. fETH, you kind of get a little bit of that price exposure. It doesn't totally it's not totally pegged to the dollar, so like you can almost sort of view it as like a little bit of a sort of hedge against sort of inflation. If sort of like if ETH and BTC keep moving against the grain of sort of like the markets in general, and just kind of keep going up or whatever, sort of like act like flights to safety or something, then fETH is going to be a great stable to be in. And then xETH as well. xETH is sort of a really interesting animal, just because it's this leverage you can we call it leverage you can hodl. But I think xETH is going to be like a really unique uh, tool to see how people build with it and to see how vaults are constructed with it. Or I think it's going to be like a fantastic uh, um, asset to have for like options and stuff like that. So because of the amount of volatility that it brings to the space, especially in something on like a bear market or a sideways market, xETH would be fantastic for that. But it'll be interesting to see sort of how it gets integrated in on mainnet and on other chains like Optimism or Arbitrum. So we're kind of excited to see how folks start to integrate it with other protocols and products and opportunities.
Your timing
Is
is amazing. Like the timing for the launch, for to be able to like have that leverage like that available at the start of maybe the bull, and then have the stable at the same time being able to target people who are still 50% allocated and they're still waiting. Like you're kind of covering both sides. But the leverage is obviously always the biggest like driver of these big time spikes, So it's going to be cool to
Yeah.
see how much you guys. But there'll be a cap, right? I mean, there can only be so much. It depends on what it's backed by.
Well, we have a cap in place right now, and that's mainly to ensure the safety of the protocol. Just to make sure that like we don't have somebody come in and mint 50,000 stake ETH worth of xETH, and it just throws everything into haywire. Or even the opposite of fETH, just having one person have that much control over the reserve is kind of spooky. But it will gradually expand the cap on it, which right now it's at about 3,000 ETH, but we'll gradually expand that. And eventually, we all of this is under proxy contract, but hopefully, like a year or two from now, we can basically take the rails off and just be like, it's immutable. Like, just go mint to your heart's desire.
Yeah.
And at that point, it will be ingrained within the Curve ecosystem, Ethereum, DeFi, and it will be a much different world. Hopefully, in 2 years, where this is like a massive protocol and people are getting a lot of utility out of it. So we'll see. I mean, you just kind of like hope and dream. You throw something out there, you kind of hope and see, and you go and you show up and talk with the llamas and see how they like it, and you just kind of see how things roll, right?
The your booster program. Obviously, I don't know if I missed anything. I disconnected for like 3 minutes, so I probably missed you and Panda talking about that. Did you guys get into the booster stuff?
Not yet, not yet. We can go ahead and talk
Okay.
about that because the booster program. So for me, like I got involved with Aladdin DAO in 2022. I found Concentrator, and I thought it was about the coolest thing I ever saw. Because at the time, you could get like 50% APR on CVX CRV, the auto compounded CVX CRV, the ACRV. And I thought that was like the greatest thing I'd ever seen in my life because it saved you on gas fees, and you basically could just put your money in there and just forget about it, and it was literally like number go up technology. And there you go. And so since then we've added like quite a few more. Those at the top there, we call those compounders, which is just like kind of always auto compounding into this base strategy there. You've got like at the top ASDCRV, which is like really big. Like actually, Michael Egorov actually like minted a whole bunch of ASDCRV here not too long ago. And there's the base ACRV, and then AFXS and FraxETH and ABC CVX, which is sort of a hybrid between Concentrator and Clever. And then our newest one there, which is like maybe my new favorite, is like ACVX, which is basically just straight up auto compounded staked CVX. And it's like at 19% right now. It's close to $1 million in there. And it is, I think that one is just going to be for people that are like absolutely, CVX maxi like myself. That's going to be one that's going to be like, I think, pretty popular. And so you basically, you get your CVX, you just deposit it in there, and then kind of in the background behind the scenes, it stakes it for you and collects the rewards. And those rewards that it collects, it basically swaps them out for more CVX and just keeps adding to your stack. And then we just keep on rolling. And so it's really really cool. One of the neat things about Concentrator I'll get to the booster program here in a second. I promise. One of the neat things about Concentrator is for most auto compounders, basically you're holding something and you're farming and dumping all the time, right? And it's kind of like if you're like whole the governance token builder or whatever, you kind of hate these things because it's like, man, you're just destroying the price of these tokens. But what's funny is because all these are convex vaults that you're looking at there, um, behind the scenes. So the income is in CVX, or it's in CRV, or it's in FXS, because it has those compounders that are also basically made up of those, either directly or indirectly. It's actually buying back the tokens that you're dumping. So it's like this ultimate recycler of like constantly basically just consuming tokens from the Curve ecosystem. And Concentrator's been around, like I said, since spring of 2022. That's how I got involved with Aladdin, getting sucked in with that. And then they had their booster program. And so their booster program is basically, with each of these protocols, we allocate a portion of either 3 or 4% of the tokens for just the community. If you look at our tokenomics, which I would argue the tokenomics for all of these protocols are probably some of the best in DeFi. There's no team allocation, there's no core contributor allocation. It basically goes to like partnerships, bootstrapping for like an IDO, and then also to the boosters, and then also to liquidity mining. So it's like four big things, and so the boosters get like a really good share, and really sort of the whole point is like trying to um, trying to incentivize the community to sort of go out and market on behalf of the of the protocols, to go out, talk about it, put out tweets, talk on podcasts, or write articles, or put up YouTube videos, or do whatever to basically just get chatter going about the protocols. And so the community sort of like, you can get nominated, or asked to be a part of the program, and submit your contribution, and then you basically get added to that round, and we have 'em about every other month. And so and then everybody kind of votes like, okay, well, who do you feel like deserves to have a share of these tokens? And so everybody votes, and we've kind of been like a real small community up until now, and so everybody's like been real nice and polite about it, just been like, oh, I think KMets deserves this, and DeFi advisor, he did really good with this talk that he had on Leviathan News, whatever. And so now that we have like sort of like Convex and Staked Out and all these really big players, it's sort of really changed the dynamics of it to where
Yeah,
now,
it's spider webbed out, right?
yeah, it's kind of like one of those deals where it's like, hey, everybody, vote for me. Also, I have 1.5 million CVX that I'm just going to vote for myself, or like pay
Yeah.
for these votes. And so it's like, uh-oh. And so now, when kind of like Hoth and Panda kind of came to us and said, hey, we really like to be a part of this program. I kind of like had to like, I couldn't even get like the words out of my mouth before like Charlotte and the rest of the team were like, yes, absolutely, yes, 100% get them on board, because um, we think that the llamas are going to be like a really tremendous community to have participate in the booster program. You guys are basically like a built-in community already that is basically excited about this stuff and wants to promote it. And additionally, like in your community, you have like all these like core curve and convex and staked out contributors. And so we think there's going to be a little bit more, sort of like, everybody sort of like, sort of understanding that like the resources that are put forth towards the booster program are kind of going to be maybe, hopefully a little bit more within the spirit of of the program. And we're like really happy to kind of like put the FXN tokens, or clever, if you guys ever decide you want to get to be a part of that, or whatever the next program protocol is that Aladdin DAO rolls out, whenever that is. But it's going to be really exciting. It's a good sort. I mean, like, getting the FXN tokens from the booster program is ideally the way to basically just like get an airdrop, is basically what it winds up being.
Yeah, like an every 2-month airdrop.
Pretty much, yeah. And
The
all you
airdrop
have,
that keeps on giving
well, you hope so, right? Yeah. And I mean, so yeah,
until
yeah.
it doesn't.
Well, I mean, that would make the protocol be bust, and so we're kind of
No!
rooting against that.
Let me at least get my first round here done.
Yeah, and so I think it's going to be like really cool, and you guys can obviously kind of like figure out how you want to get your tokens distributed to you. And I would,
Oh yeah, I know how they're getting distributed.
yeah, and so, but what's really cool about the FX protocol is most of the fees are being driven by minting and redeeming, and so as we go multi-chain, as we incorporate more protocols, as more liquidity gets put on chain everywhere, the more minting and redeeming there's going to be. And so the only place where the governance tokens are located is like here on mainnet, and I mean there's only going to ever be 2 million FXN tokens. And so um I mean, like, the revenue share per FXN token is going to be like, I mean, it's going to be pretty nice. So, I mean, especially like this first round where we've been basically just accumulating revenue. I think it's like over 30 staked ETH, which will get distributed here in the near future. I think we're going to stream it out. It's going to look pretty nice. So, I think it's going to be
I
a
was
good
reading
source
that
of.
in your Discord, like you guys are talking about the yield coming for it. Um,
Yeah,
quickly, I just want to cut in and give you a chance to breathe for a second and drink a cup of water. But I wanted to talk about the cool factor behind the booster thing. Like I looked at it when you talked about it on the last call like 3 weeks ago. I was thinking it's like you have a percentage at a company, you have a percentage of a marketing budget. You guys took that marketing budget and you threw it up as a bounty and you said, "Come get it." Like whoever markets best, and then you have everybody in the community vote on who they thought was the most helpful to the DAO or to the organization. So it was instead of trying to go out like hire Twitter influencers and like get YouTube streamers and like try to micromanage the marketing system. You're just like, here's the money, go do it. And I love the concept. It really matches up with the llama bounty system.
yeah, it's a very grassroots sort of system for the most part. I mean, I think Aladdin in the very beginning sort of tried sort of the hire Twitter influencers and learned very quickly that like your money doesn't get you very far. But for folks that are like, everybody loves a good airdrop and whatnot, and so this is, and you have a lot of folks that are just like excited about these protocols that kind of want a shot to kind of like create content or just talk about these things, and so it really gives people a chance to be rewarded for their efforts. And I love it. I mean, it's basically how I got sucked into Aladdin. I mean, I think it's a lot of fun. And oh my god, okay, Llama Bro just asked, yo, KMets, did you ever pick up that at Wind Llama NFT? Good sir, of course I did. Yes. Good gracious. But yeah. So yeah, the booster program, we're excited to have you guys on board. We're excited to uh you know uh see how it unfolds from here on out. And I think it's going to be pretty exciting. So we hope you guys are excited as well.
I have to go back in the sales feed and find that llama that you bought. I didn't tell anybody. It was going to be. You were supposed to do it live on stream. You were supposed to go. You were supposed to sweep the floor on the stream with that 30 ETH that you were going to use for the FXN yield.
You guys, I mean, while I am a core contributor to Aladdin DAO, I am nowhere near the whale you might envision me to be. I still have a day job. I'm still, there are very few NFT floors I can sweep other than ones that were massive failures in 2022. And
Congratulations on your llama. Thank you for buying one.
yeah, absolutely. I've been. It's kind of one of those deals where I followed the mint that you guys had for like for the entire way through, and I was like, ooh, that one looks awesome. Oh, went for 4 ETH. Never mind. Oh, that one looks awesome. Yeah, I don't know about that. And so it was just kind of one of those deals where I was like, okay, I will bide my time. I will be patient. I can sit here and wait. And so finally, it's kind of one of those deals where it's like, it's either now or never. And of course, I found a cute one, and so had to jump at it, of course. And also, now you guys are going to be getting some FXN tokens, so it's like, I'm kind of like buying back into this deal here. So pretty cool.
When did you buy one, KMets?
This week.
Nice. Can you share it in the chat here so we can see it?
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yep.
I just
Okay.
doxed him.
Ah, nice, nice,
Yeah, there you
nice.
go. They say you can't put a price on friendship, but I certainly can at 0.922 ETH.
Oh yes, the exact
That's
price
what cost
of
to
a
buy
llama
my
friend.
friendship.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it is a good price. I was very happy to get one for less than one. I mean, it's look. I mean, you guys are like building your treasury out, and just when we had you guys on for our Twitter space, with me and DeFi Advisor, I gotta say that was like one of the most bullish, probably Twitter spaces we've had in quite a while. Just like hearing like the job sort of market that you guys are putting up, the badge system, and just like some pretty grand plans going on here. And so,
Yeah.
it's very excited to be a part of the community.
Also,
Since you,
the amount of projects that are integrating as like sub projects of the llamas, you know, I think it creates such a big excitement around the project and around the community that I don't know of any other NFT projects or DeFi NFT project that has so many side projects already.
yeah, we definitely have some spin-offs, don't we?
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
good
like
point. Thank you.
on a different level. Like I don't even know anything remotely close to it.
Oh, I like how Llama Bro is now basically.
Oh, you got live added to the llama friends index.
No, not
Let me
yet.
see. Where are
I
you? Where are
because
you?
now
Where
I
are
have to
you?
go and buy some of my own keys. So,
No, let me front run you. Hold on. Give me like 30 seconds. All right. Okay, you're good.
okay.
I wanted to ask. Oh, sorry. I never even like did the top down thing. The only thing that we didn't talk about on Aladdin was the other than Concentrator and FXN
Yeah.
was Clever. So you mentioned that, or
Yeah.
CL or whatever. You mentioned that once. Is there as another separate booster program? Is this a completely different like site, a different product? I haven't even looked at it, to be honest. I've only been
Oh
paying
man,
attention.
is it? Do I get to be the first person to like tell you about Clever? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah,
I'll
it'd
tell
be
you.
my first time.
Okay, Clever is it is probably my favorite protocol on DeFi, and the reason is because you can get leveraged returns, non-liquidating leverage returns on CVX, the bribes on CVX, and Clever is an amazing protocol. Uh, it has, it's been up for a little over a year, I think. No, actually, longer than that. But so yeah, if you look up there at the top where it says CVX, you'll notice that there's almost 2.7 million CVX that's put into to Clever. And we have, if you're kind of familiar with like Alchemex and sort of their self-repaying loans, it works kind of similar, sort of in a very general term, but like it's kind of evolved enough to where it's got its own sort of flavors there. You can earn leveraged returns also on Frax base pool as well, tokens, but really clever. CVX is sort of our bread and butter, and so there's some gauges there. Although the only one active now is ABC CVX, but Clever, like I said, it's leverage returns on CVX bribes. So um, you basically can put your CVX in. It basically locks it for you and like auto relocks it unless you want to withdraw, and basically you just collect the returns. It's very simple. You can, and it pays it out in this other token called CLEV CVX. And if you've ever seen sort of like any of these sites that show like the some sort of like a peg or something like that, it's always like, why does the peg on CLEV CVX always suck so bad? And the reason is that's on purpose. CLEV CVX is basically like sort of like a bond on future returns for bribes. And so it's basically a way to sort of buy discounted CVX. And right now it's probably at like a 25% discount or something like that. If you go click on Furnace there, yeah, you can see that. And so basically what this is basically you can take CLEV CVX and put it into this vault. And over time, I think right now it's a little over a year, but over time that basically turns into that CLEV CVX gets burned back into one CVX. And really innovative. At times, basically buying CLEV CVX and putting it into the furnace is the highest yielding way you can earn single stake CVX. Is super cool. The other thing is it at 36%? Wow, that's huge. That's amazing. Um, at times, uh, we've had over 2.7 million CVX in Clever. What's amazing is so there's Clever has its own token, the CLEV token, and you lock it VE. It's a VE style locking. VE CLEV tokens. There's only ever going to be 2 million of those, and only half of them are out. And I think if you go up to lock, it will show you like how many have been locked right now. Probably about like 170,000 or something like that. Yeah, 168,000. That's how many VE CLEV. So 168,000 VE CLEV control 2.7 million CVX, VLCVX. What this means is that there's something like 15 vote lock CVX per VE CLEV, which means that when it comes to like gauge votes and things that are like outside of like the normal biweekly votes, CLEV has this outsized enormous governance power in the Curve ecosystem.
Wait. So wait, like I think CVX is like 6-1 already to VCRV, right?
Yeah, so
You're
so
30 to 1 curve.
You're multiplying that again by
So
15.
yes, yeah, and then
That's
more than 30.
huge.
so hang on, let me blow your brains apart even more. Because the snapshot votes for Clever only require a 10% quorum, you could basically multiply that by 10. So VE Clev basically, last I calculated, controlled something like, just to meet quorum, 135 VLCVX per VE CRV. Something like 65 VE FXS, and then it was something like 700 VE CRV per VE Clev. And I'm dead serious. It completely blows your brains apart. And that's why like it's one of my favorite protocols. It's like the most powerful governance token in probably DeFi that's really slept on. So yeah, that's Clever. I love Clever. Clever's awesome.
So all three of those fall under the Aladdin umbrella.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And then does the money that all three of these make flow back to the Aladdin DAO, or do they each do like FX retains its own revenue from from the minting of the stables and then the leverage trades?
Yeah, so here's what's kind of interesting about that. Aladdin sort of acts as like sort of like the giant investment whale, right? So like um instead of like core contributors getting a share of the tokens for each of these protocols, that basically goes to the Aladdin DAO. And so the DAO holds a 30% stake in all of the tokens for each of these. So out of that 2 million tokens per like FXN, 30% of those go to the Aladdin DAO. For Clever, out of those 2 million, 30% go to Aladdin DAO. Same thing with Concentrator. So each one of these protocols has their own individual treasury and their own sort of governance. Aladdin itself uh, basically has control over 30% of each one of those. So it has this lion's share. And it basically right now, we're actually going to be having a tokenomics revision to the ALD token and cap the supply at like 150 million. And so that is going to be a very attractive token, because right now, basically, if you're like, oh man, I kind of want to get into these, but maybe I'm like priced out a little bit. I mean, purchasing ALD tokens, they're like 3.5 cents each. I mean, it's like ridiculously cheap. That's the only time I'm going to really like talk about price, but
Yeah.
it's
So
but it's
the
like
Aladdin tokens are your governance token for the overarching fund that runs the other projects.
yes, exactly, yeah.
So why do you guys have different teams for each one of these, or are you running all this stuff?
It's all of it. There's like I think as far as like the main core contributors, there's four of us. It's myself, Paul, Kruger, and Charlene, and then she's got like some front end folks and some devs in China, and so they there's like maybe three or four of them, but yeah, I mean it's just we're a fairly small team. We just we just keep cooking, baby.
It's incredible. You
I,
guys have done a great job.
Aladdin is, the it's been around for a while, but like it really hasn't started building these protocols until really kind of like the start of the bear. And so these Concentrator, Clever, and FX, none of them have seen a bull market yet, and so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to Aladdin and these protocols once an actual bull market comes back. So it's very exciting to sort of like think about the possibilities. I've sort of been excited about it for a long time, and it's just been a really wonderful community of folks. Very nice, very welcoming, very open, and so I always find that like to be like one of the more attractive qualities that you can find in like DeFi folks, and so. People that are kind of like thinking about all the angles other than just straight up let's just make a shit ton of money, but at the same time, like, we need to reward our community members and make sure that like people feel like they're welcome, and if they have an opinion, or they our forums are very active, and so we like to hear from everybody, and try to make sure people feel like their voice is heard.
Been a lot of awesome information that you've given me. Or given all of us, and everybody else who gets to listen to the call tomorrow, hopefully. But I give myself a nice chunk of time to get in front of everybody, obviously, which is my way. Um, the uh, where was I going with this? Oh, I'm sorry. So, have you even ever considered or pitched to like your group any possibility of using the llamas to throw an Aladdin or whatever, any of your protocol bounties out there for us?
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's kind of like the first time I've kind of like heard about this or considered it, but
Huh?
I think that'd be super cool.
Never considered, huh?
Well, I mean, I consider a lot of things.
All right. So keep your eyes peeled, guys.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, the sky's the limit, right? I mean, we're always looking to improve these things, and I think we're pretty excited to have the llamas involved at kind of a fundamental level, and so
Oh,
anything we.
sorry. One more question about when you were I was cutting out earlier. Do we, as your first partner program for the boosters, do we need to go like try to rally votes every 2 months, or is this like a thing where you're just gonna use us to be able to basically advertise for you?
Can you I think, well, I mean, ultimately you would basically just kind of like be like a any other booster program participant, so like it would be really nice if you guys maybe like had like like a segment on the Friday Graze where you talked about Aladdin or something like that, or however you want to incorporate it in whatever way is like sort of like most suitable for your community. But
Okay.
then obviously you can I mean you can go rally for votes for the llamas, or for people that you guys have seen, or put together like your top contributor list, or however you guys want to handle it. So
So in the next in your next vote, there's
yeah,
going to be a llama opportunity to person to vote for, or the multi-sig. You can vote for the multi-sig or whatever for the treasury
yeah,
multi-sig,
yeah.
and then so you strip Panda and Hawthorne out of there.
No, they can be on there if they
I
want.
don't want them on there,
Okay.
and then we can vote for llamas, and then so we anything that we're going to do to try to help the Aladdin DAO or any of your products, it needs to be pushed through the One Llama Twitter channel, our Discord, our calls, and our chats to be able to try to raise awareness for your products.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Yeah,
You guys are
are
welcome to manage it
the
however you like.
are the llamas going into the community booster program also as a protocol now, not just as an individual? I wasn't really following these last 2 weeks, so maybe I'm not.
You heard correct, sir. Yeah, they are basically the first multi-sig to be whitelisted into the booster
That's cool.
program.
That's cool. I remember us talking about it a few weeks ago, and I think that's actually a great idea. And I think that the llama community can get very creative with it. You guys can be a very powerful player on the booster program scene. Let me tell you that.
No doubt.
That's going to be exciting, and
Yeah.
I'm amped to uh, use my insane Canva skills to go try to shill a little bit for you guys. I have to say though, like maybe it's because of the people I follow, KMets, but my Twitter feed is constantly full of FXN stuff. I mean, or of FX stuff. Like it's just I don't know if it was during that like the first big people trying to rally for votes or whatever. But it's
Yeah.
like every day, half my Twitter feed is stuff about Aladdin products.
Well, we do have kickbacks to Elon Musk that we must pay every
Oh,
month. So there you
well, he
go.
definitely needs the money.
He just likes being part of the booster program.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's begging Charlene to be on it, both
Yeah.
on Concentrator and CLEV as well. But really, I think Cogsy that the ever since FXN was revealed, I really think that it's such an innovative and creative new protocol that it really got a lot more attention, I think, than the others before. So I can definitely agree with you about the whole feed situation and timeline situation, that ever since FX protocol was conceived and revealed, I think Aladdin is getting a lot more attention, and a lot more people want to get involved and to know about the project. And I think that it also made the booster program quite bigger, with more participants that are very much eager to, get involved. And I really think the DAO did another great job on that one. And I think that, it's one of the consequences of another thing that you guys were mentioning a few minutes ago, the organizational culture. I really think that I know that personally for me, it was also one of the things that attracted me most into getting involved as much as I could, because I really liked the culture there. Like, it was really the kind of Discord and the kind of DAO that you can really approach people and they actually answer, and like they really try to interact and be a community. Not like on some other occasions that I didn't quite feel the same way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's really been pretty cool. And so, I mean, if you want, I can kind of tell you, like, sort of like the A team sort of was like born out of the booster program, really. And so for folks that have kind of seen the A team and aren't quite sure about it, basically, with the booster program, you create some content, you can kind of get on that epoch and be a part of that, and then you're out, right? And then you have to kind of like produce more content to get on the next one, or you're out. And so for the A team, we were like, well, we're all kind of like constantly doing this, and we kind of don't want to have to like keep reapplying or worry about falling off. And so we basically just said the A team will commit itself to doing regular content, for the DAO. And so making sure that it's really high quality stuff that people want, that we're going out, that we're promoting it. And that's sort of like how the we these core contributors sort of like graduated from the booster program and became part of the A team. And so we've really had an opportunity to grow the A team a little bit. We've added a couple new members with Meta CVX. He's the
Oh my
most
God, the memes.
dude. That guy's the
Yeah,
most
it's so
prolific
good.
meme master
Yeah,
I've ever met in my life, and he is such a cool dude too. Oh
yeah,
man.
yeah.
And then also Tao. If you guys don't know Tao, he's sort of been in Aladdin for a long time, and he's a kind of our technical whiz. But yeah, so that's kind of like the A team. And so we'll be having like our newsletter come out next week, and we have like our regular Twitter Spaces. And we just our goal is to just constantly promote Aladdin DAO, and we're always looking to add new folks, every time we go re-up our funding. So for folks that are putting out good quality content, we're watching you, and we're seeing you. So um, yeah.
And also, I think the A team was a good example of the fact that that Aladdin was actually able, using the community booster program, to actually level up and build its own media channel from the bottom up. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it was
Because
sort
we
of like
were actually, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, it was sort of like framed as sort of like kind of like an Aladdin flywheel DeFi sort of a thing. So we're still working on it, and slowly but surely. But yeah.
congratulations on all your success and that this is growing. You said that the FX protocol itself grew faster than you had expected. Like you kind of hit like a sweet spot in the market, or it's just going to do well in a bear because of the stables. I mean, like, are you happy with the how much you've got under management?
Oh my gosh, yeah, we're absolutely thrilled. I mean, it's been far more of a success than I think any of us have dreamed so far. But we also think that it can be one of the largest and most impactful protocols in all of DeFi, and so that's sort of our goal. But absolutely thrilled that people find value in it, that understand it, and want to talk about it, and that's what's really crucial right now. And it's just going out and making sure people understand it, because it's kind of confusing at first if you're not really kind of like you're not like me and haven't read the white paper like 10 times. But
Yeah,
we're
this
really
call
excited.
has helped me a lot. I mean, in an hour, you've just like gone through the entire, the basics for somebody who hasn't really learned much about it.
Well, good. Yeah, absolutely. And if anybody ever wants, more information or whatever, please jump over to our Discord. Happy to answer questions. You can DM me. I mean, I'm pretty responsive to DMs, and obviously, I love talking about anything Aladdin related. So, hit me up.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you, KMets and DeFi Advisor.
Thank you.
We're gonna skip over to KP. I think now, if you're ready, KP.
Hey, I'm ready. Thanks,
All right.
KMets. Thanks, advisor.
I got kids screaming in the other room. So once again, I don't have any idea how you were ever expected to follow these. Like that's 3 in a row now that have just been like ass kicking fun, and then I bring you in.
I know, but this
I'm
week
sorry.
I think I'm prepared.
Oh, you could
Um,
you could actually came to fight with the big boys this week.
Have you come
Yeah,
prepared? Have you come prepared?
I came a little prepared. I mean, that's kind of worrying because then I showed you guys the website already, but they saw the front end and they're like, but anyway, yeah, thanks.
Oh,
Thanks everyone
sorry.
for
Sorry,
hanging
hold on a second. Just Jasmine scolding me. Hey, everybody, this is KP from Jpage. Have you ever wanted to date other coders? Okay, so you're good to
Yeah.
go now.
Yeah, so Cogsy is announcing our pivot to no, I'm just kidding. No, that joke's been beaten to death already. But yeah, thanks everyone for hanging around still. So yeah, we are a little bit ahead of schedule for the token claim. I'm just gonna go ahead and paste the details for that in the lounge channel. But then Cogsy, do you want to stream your screen so that because
All right,
Cogsy here is
let me
gonna
get ready to switch over, okay?
thanks.
You just
Yeah, Cogsy is gonna actually
have
do
a
the
chat,
claim.
have a little chat with Panda.
Okay.
This would be good.
Okay. But yeah, spent the past since the. I mean, well, yeah. First, thanks everyone for minting Rumas. I mean, the token sale did end, but still gonna keep building and after we get the token distribution out of the way, pretty excited to just get back to building because it's. I mean, yeah, it's important to distribute the tokens because they will enable you to actually receive a share of everything that we build. And so first, I'm just going to start with the token rename. So I was asking around for name suggestions, and a fellow llama actually suggested something that at first sounded, maybe not on brand, but after thinking about it, and I decided that we're going to rename ourselves to BRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRR but so it's burrito, but with like the printer sound, right? The BRR. No, without the U.
Did you just do the reveal without me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting
Yeah,
ready.
sorry,
I'm getting
Cogsy.
ready.
I didn't even know you
Hold on.
weren't here.
I have a whole like PowerPoint presentation. Just kidding.
Yeah, thanks everybody for the support. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it sounds, you know, a little like crazy or you know, like nonsense at first, but if you think about it, it's really in line with what we're trying to do, which is we're not trying to launch a token that is meant to be sold. I mean, there are projects out there which I'm sure we're all aware of where the only way to actually realize any sort of profit or liquidity for your investment is by dumping it on someone else. But that doesn't really have to be the case, right? I mean, in the traditional, I don't know, world, there are certain shares where you could just hold on to the shares and they'll provide you with dividends, and that's what we're trying to do here at now called BRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRR sell your token in order to actually make money. And I think we're very much like a Yearn or even a just any other project that has multiple apps under it which produces fees. And there's not going to be any nonsense as far as us turning on fees later or anything. It's just from day one. As soon as any of the apps that we build produce fees, you're going to receive half of it. And it's going to be entirely enforced on chain. So that's something that I'm going to be working on next week now that we're done with the token claims contract. So next week, I'm going to deploy the fee distribution contract so that any apps that we build, the fees will go directly there, and any tokens that are staked will immediately start accruing rewards or fees. And it's proportionate to how much you stake. So let's just say you stake 10% of the circulating supply, or you'll receive 10% of the fees, or not the circulating supply. Sorry, if there's 1 million tokens staked and you have 100K of those staked, you'd receive 10% of the fees. And the idea is that you don't have to rely on us to distribute those fees. They're done entirely, as I mentioned, on chain, because it sucks when you have to rely on someone else to give you your money, right? So that's behind the name. I'm not going to name the other Lava who gave me the name suggestion just in case. But I mean, I like it. I feel like it makes perfect sense. So
we don't have like a lynching.
No, I mean, well, I still want him to get lynched. Yeah. But yeah, so here Cogsy is gonna claim the tokens real quick. So this is our new front end, and so I'm not the best when it comes to front end, and also it actually is pretty hard. So hats off to JJ and Dina. But with the help of pre-styled templates or front end apps that are pre-styled, I think there's a lot that we could do. So here's an example of that app. This is just the claim page though, but the dashboard's pretty sick. Just need actual data to populate the dashboard with and stuff. So, but yeah, this is the start of it, and it's gonna be. I mean, there's gonna be a lot more later. Thanks, Dana. Yeah, it's yeah. I feel very comfortable being able to actually like build full-blown apps using this template versus the other one.
All right, which one are you playing?
I could probably still work on the intuitiveness of the design a little bit, but those little green buttons that you see on the right side, those are the claim buttons, and they're disabled if you've already claimed it. So
I already claimed my beta tester one.
Yeah, you got to refresh it though, Cogsy. I didn't add a. Damn it, I should have added.
No, it's faded out. Like it's not bright green anymore, but it's like it's an open box still.
Could you refresh it? Okay. Well, yeah, there's a bug, so that's it. Sorry.
Live on. Give me the bug bounty, baby.
It's embarrassing me, man. Just click another box.
No, I don't want my bug bounty first.
You're supposed to roll with the punches, man.
Okay, so I can claim my 1 million BRRRR now.
Yeah. Could you click on the center one? Yes. Okay. So, you see the little green notification icon on your MetaMask, Cogsy? If you click that, it should show the transaction confirmation prompt. But yeah, so you might see it okay, I'm just gonna explain this to everyone else while you figure it out. But okay, so assuming the buttons actually work, which they definitely do, I think Cogsy, you gotta click the MetaMask button and click confirm.
Cogsy, your MetaMask.
I'm on MetaMask, for the love of God.
Look at your MetaMask.
Are you having your son do this, or what's going on here?
You're not on your MetaMask. There we go.
Okay. Okay, so then so that's the actual the configuration for the WAGMI hooks for the front end thing. But anyway, okay, so can we go back to the Friday real quick, guys?
I'm rich.
But yeah, if anyone has any questions later, you're welcome to ask me. I'm gonna try to. I mean, the idea for releasing this early was just because, well, one, it was almost done already, and two, just hoping to get feedback and to help and to also fix bugs as they pop up. I did test it, but these are using the actual Merkle rates for the real distribution lists, and I didn't want to spend a bunch of money testing, deploying new contracts and stuff. But yeah.
Token balance is showing incorrect. The number, my number is so big it broke the front end.
Oh yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, so it needs to be formatted because it's so these numbers that you're seeing are actually have the decimals omitted. So there's 18 decimals, just like Ether. And so 1 million tokens is like 1 million with 18 following zero right padded zeros. And but yeah, so the little percentage at the bottom for each box. So the circulating supply is actually only 50 million tokens, which is why 1 million is 2%. And is that right? Yeah, that's right. It's actually .xyz. So I actually tried to register BRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRR and Irate had suggested it, but every other domain like extension, it was way too expensive. So yeah, hopefully we'll get that one soon too. So BRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRR under it will be applications which will launch, and they may have different names. But no matter what, there's not going to be a new token. All of the fees are going to flow back to the BRRRR token or the fee distribution contract, and all the staked BRRRR tokens are going to split that, or 50% of that.
Every
You'll never have
you
to worry.
build, 50% of the fees go back to the BRRRR.
Yeah.
I like your fee printer go BRRRR token.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I know there's been a lot more experimentation on my part, and I mean there's all kinds of things. But anyway, I think there's definitely there's a very clear path to achieving being able to produce fees for this token, as long as DeFi exists, right? Because there's always going to be something. I mean, earlier Aladdin DAO showcased the auto compounder, which there's just I mean, you can automate all kinds of things, right? And capture fees left and right. But so yeah, I wouldn't be super worried. But for the first year, the main milestone, or our first milestone, is to return all of the funds that were used to mint Rumas back to token holders in the form of fees. And I definitely think that's doable, even in this current market. I feel like the Bear was a great opportunity to meet other developers and try to figure out where we wanted to build. But eventually we are going to settle down and be able to focus somewhere. It's just, I think it's just much easier to do
the rename and the token launch and the claim page and everything just functioned. So you should be excited about that and happy and like relieved, I hope, that everything is working. And great job. I mean, like, you got it all done, and I haven't talked to you in like a week, so I know you've been working. I just leave you alone and let you BRRRR some tokens out for me.
Thanks, Cogsy. Yeah, no, I really appreciate everyone here. Yeah, I'm usually pretty out of the loop or not engaged with community when I'm working, because it's just, I mean, if you see me chatting and stuff, that means I'm not working. So, like, my brain, yeah, I'm just kind of like autistic, I think, because if I work, then my brain is too tired to like chat with people later. So, yeah.
So now that you have the token claim up, everybody who minted Rumas, they have the sets, they got the uniques, they got the beta tester thing. Anybody can go to base and go grab their BRRRR tokens. And then you are gonna now pivot towards working towards the apps and just leave this where it is.
So very soon actually, but so first what I need to do is I need to get the advisor vesting contracts up. So those are actually going to be Open Zeppelin already has a vesting wallet contract, so I probably just need to modify or set the parameters and figure that out. But after that is the actual fee distribution contract that I mentioned earlier. Because the last thing token holders would want me to do is to actually manually distribute these fees, right? I feel like it's in everybody's best interest if all of that is handled, or the accounting for all of that is defined in the contract itself. And I'm leaning towards getting an audit for that, just so it could be properly checked and all that.
I'm on board with that as long as you're manually doing Cogsy's fees.
I know, yeah, except for Cogsy actually. Maybe I'll just send that to Panda. You could figure it out. But yeah, what was I saying? But after that, immediately after that, sorry.
I couldn't keep. Oh yeah, just send my tokens to Panda and let him just drip them out to me as he sees fit. Okay, so you're leaning towards an audit. Could you do like a light audit or like a badge audit for the vesting one?
Actually, I mean, so the vesting one, we don't need an audit because I'm just going to use Open Zeppelin's contract.
Right.
But for the fee distribution one, yeah, maybe we don't need an audit. I
Fee
think it's better to
distribution.
just lean-
Okay.
I think it's better to just be as lean as possible. In worst case, if there is an issue, maybe for the first fee distribution contract, there could be some admin privileges, so I could remove the tokens if necessary. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think you guys have to worry about
What's the worst case
us running
scenario
into that
on the
and
first
going that
first
far,
one?
and then if there are any issues, we could just migrate to a new one. Because I think it'd be worse to spend a lot of money on an audit right now, because this is supposed to be something that lasts us a year. But with the market picking up, I mean, I don't know. I have to take a closer look at what the besides friend tech, right, on what's going on base, and then see what what are the opportunities. But I think it's really important. It's really funny because actually wish I watched this earlier, but I stumbled upon this like random farming video where it's literally a farm. I mean, the guy consults farmers, actual real life farmers, not crypto ones, but like the dirt and plants and stuff. And he was just like, well, you can't measure, or you can't manage what you don't measure or track. And I was like, wow, that's really profound. But it's really simple, but it was profound. And so I feel like we've kind of been like a boat that's like spinning in circles a little bit, but at the same time making real progress still, because the tech that we built, the router, etc., anything I built in the past, like we still have that will benefit anything going forward, right? And but yeah, I think the most important thing that we could work towards right now, and which is a great first goal, is to make all the minters whole. So that's something like that means that we would have to produce something like 75 ETH in total over the span of a year. And so I think that would have to be my number one priority, and then after that, but yeah, at least the community knows where my head is at, and it doesn't matter what we build, what the name is, it will all flow back to BRRRR tokens. So, like, imagine throwing my reputation away for like 20 or something. So yeah, yeah, everything will be will be aligned with BRRRR. It's just Does anyone have any questions? Yeah, sorry, I can't really pronounce it well. Like, some people could do the Burt rolling R sound. I can't. Maybe JJ can, but
The meme is right.
There's like printer go BRRRR.
Just wait till we get this into Meta CVX's hands.
Yeah.
The money printer spewing out burritos.
This is like
I feel really good about our front end, because I feel like that was like a critical missing piece. But going forward, like, you won't see any crappy UIs like you did before with the trading vaults. Like, this new template's actually perfect for design challenge people like me. I mean, they're still coding. It's just that a lot of it's all styled. So
I'm thinking the token name, like I can't roll my R's, but the BRRRR is a bit like it's like the new what is it, Euler or Euler or however anyone pronounces it as well. That lending platform.
Yeah.
Euler,
Euler?
Euler, Euler.
Yeah, I think it's Euler. Like that
Austrian?
mathematical thing. But yeah, you can just call it burrito if you want to, but trust me, it's a lot better than some of the things I had in mind. I mean, for example, like one that I was really favoring was something called Red Cap, and it was because then I watched this horror movie where in Irish culture there's these little goblins with red hats, and they just work together. Okay, so I wasn't going after the goblins or the so they kidnap kids, but that wasn't the plan. The plan was like this group of people working together towards achieving something. But yeah, the fact that I even had to like explain this, maybe I'm just glad we came out with burrito. So and it makes total sense. I mean, it wraps up everything really nicely. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I would love to. So Xerox Infinity asked win Roomba game. Yeah, I mean, it'd be great to do a lot of things, right? I wish I could do a game. I wish I could do, I don't know, my own social network or whatever. But I think when that's why I really felt that quote resonated, or that farming quote, because it really requires you to take a step back and set hard achievable goals, right? It's one thing to like imagine, okay, well, I'd like to go and make $100 million and make a project that's $100 million, but and it's like, well, how do you even get there? And then it's very sobering when you put it like that, right? So I think anyway, I guess my point was the goal of making the Bruma's mentors whole. Now my priorities and how I'm thinking about it is, well, how can we add value in a sustainable way, and be able to actually create products that people want to pay for immediately, in order to achieve that 12-month or hit that 12-month milestone. And I do think we'll hit it faster than 12 months. It's just yeah, no, okay, maybe we should yeah, I'm not talking about kidnapping kids. I was talking about the goblins, not us. But why don't we I mean, they literally kidnapped a baby in the movie, but that's why I said it was a horror movie, right?
I love that too. That's a great marketing. So let's talk about kidnapping kids.
No, man. No. It would okay. Let me see. What is that movie? Because I need to redeem myself real quick. I mean, yeah. Okay. So on Wikipedia, it is a malevolent, murderous goblin found in. Okay. So that's not what we were going for, but this is, at least this. It's a real thing. It's not like something I made up. But yeah. I mean, the idea was like these community calls really inspired me to think of names that were related to like groups of people trying to do things together. And then Red Cap just sounded kind of like, I don't know, nice. But I think Burrito's great because it's still in line with our goal is to produce as much fees as possible. I mean, applications that are cash flow rich, and those flow back to the tokens, which then are go BRRRR. So yeah, I know. Thank God we're not. There's no liquidity or anything. Thanks, Meek. Yeah, but does anyone have any questions? I mean, I think it's. I mean, I'm always available in the lounge if you have any questions or anything. But yeah, I mean, I just want to get this done correctly, so that we have a really strong base to move forward from. I think the fee distribution contract is the most important, and that should be deployed next week. But and then so we can get back to building apps, because that's not only the most fun but the most lucrative and what we're all here for, right? I mean, yeah, I'd love to build a game, but right now we need to make fees first. There are no docs written for BRRRR yet, and I'm gonna be migrating. So I still need to change the Twitter name. I need to update the docs. I'm gonna migrate some of that content over to the BRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRR will be just like any other project that has sub projects under it. So yeah. I mean, it would be amazing if Curve deployed CRV USD on base, because we would try to build as many applications and things around that as possible. I mean, because I don't know what the state of the leverager is today, but at the time the Jpage router plus the Curve USD contract leverager was the most efficient for any volume. I mean, in a major way. So we could have totally produced fees there, but it was so insanely expensive on mainnet. I mean, I remember deploying the contract the first time, it was half an ETH, and just seeing what we raised, it just wasn't feasible. And I don't really want to rely on grants, so because we're still not a known project yet, so we need to prove ourselves. But yeah, I'm not worried. Maybe,
No stress, not worried at all.
Yeah, I just want to get this done so we can go back to building, because yeah. So
well, congratulations. I'm really happy, and I'm glad that you got past this step.
Thanks everybody. Thanks, Steve.
Did anybody have any questions or want to talk about BRRRR? If you do, you can raise your hand.
Can you edit out the goblin part?
Oh no, we're gonna go with the child kidnapping joke for at least a month.
That wasn't the point of the name. Even Red Hat is named. I wonder if they know that. Maybe someone should let them know that.
I can't do my outro music because we're not on my big computer.
Why did someone stop me before I started running my mouth with the fucking goblins? Okay, but yeah. Yeah, thanks a lot, everybody.
The funny thing is, I could totally start a BRRRR LP right now, or just go create one or whatever, or fund one, but I'd have to put up some ETH on the other side, right? So I have to find some other tokens that I'm getting for free to LP against the BRRRR.
I know, he's about to be community manager for Aladdin to hedge the BRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRR provide an example of a bad name to contrast, as contrast, so you can see like, okay, well, BRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRR So I mean, red cap. Sorry, not red hat. Red. I mean, nothing with respect for red hat, but red cap. I mean, thank God we didn't go with that. And I'm pretty much that whole story stays here. Would really appreciate it. So no more, for the sake of our industry, no more talk of the child kidnapping and stuff.
Okay, Panda. Jesus, Panda. Are
So
you
I think
there? He always
Yeah,
as
fades
soon as
away.
the contract's deployed, Infinity, so hopefully next week or the following week. Also, so something that isn't done yet, just real quick, sorry, Panda. So we're actually just gonna airdrop the Rumas because I think some of you may remember that Rumas were supposed to be minted on base as well, or the new contract, and so those are just gonna be airdropped directly, so you don't have to pay gas or anything. But okay, so yeah, that's it. I'll just
I zoned out. What did you say? What are you airdropping me?
So the new Rumas, the base Rumas, will be airdropped directly to your wallets versus you needing to claim them as part of the token claim. And yeah, would love ideas if anyone has them for how to include Rumas in future things. But say for example, we create an application that charges fees. I would love to figure out a way if there could be a discount or something for Ruma's token holders, just so there's some benefit, right? But we could figure all that out later. For now, it's just most important thing is just to create the apps that actually produce fees in the first place. Because like, who cares?
Are you gonna port the Rumas that we minted on mainnet to base?
Yeah. So they will be airdropped on base along with the metadata and everything. So the art is actually, and I think I think it's better to just initially have them as ERC 721s. As much as I'd love to have them start off as wrapped ERC 721s, and the reason is just so you could see the actual picture. I think a lot of the Rumas holders have had a lot of fun with the pictures, and I feel like it'd just be better if they were in a form or in a using a standard that you could see on like OpenSea and stuff like that. Because right now you can't with wrapped ERC 721. Yes, thank you, JJ. I thought you didn't want to be credited, but yeah, JJ is actually the one who gave the amazing burrito name. I can't tell anymore whether he wants the credit or not, but yeah, I really appreciate it. I'm very glad now that I listened to you instead of myself for that. I'm not great with design stuff and creative thinking, but yeah.
All right, thank you for clearing that up. It didn't click at all.
Okay, I'm gonna see myself out now. Can someone else take? I mean, like,
Children are screaming at me from the other room. I want to watch Unikitty on Hulu. I just wanted to thank you for coming on, KP. I wanted to use Panda to wrap up because I usually have music playing right now. Just imagine I have music playing for the end thing. And then Panda, is there anything that I need to interrogate you about for the llamas? Because I think we're gonna skip the Thanksgiving week graze and go 3 weeks out.
No, but I think in 3 weeks out we should have something good to announce, or people will see it online and around pretty shortly. But I don't want to give that away right now. But it's pretty major, so we'll be sharing that on the next episode for sure.
Sorry, the next one's on the 10th, is November 10th, and then there's the 24th, which is the Thanksgiving week. So we'll have one graze in 2 weeks, and then we'll skip to the 1st of December. But you think a couple 3 weeks and you'll have a nice announcement?
Yeah, we should do. I don't want to get like ahead of it, but I think we're in like the final stages now, which will be huge for llamas and for building and onboarding and scaling the badge app and adding a few more things on top of it.
Awesome. That'll be exciting in a few weeks. And then we've got a couple more badges coming. I saw already like teasers in the poly chat. So that's gonna be awesome.
They should be dropping in the next couple of days. We've got a group which I think is led by Dapper. I can't see him in here today, but they've put together a pitch for this gold real world assets company to build out everything from like the front end, the back end, blah blah blah. And they've put together a pitch for that, and it could be like it would be quite interesting for us because normally we've just been doing ad hoc badges like subcontract work, and this time it would be building something up from bottom to top, and maybe like a shape of like a side of future things to come, bigger in scale, where llamas are like working together as teams on projects as well. Rather than individually. I mean, we did have a couple of badges from Polygon where there was Omnifiant and one other dev working together, like remotely in the chat room. And I think this is going to be like 3 or 4. So that will be really interesting to see how that works. Oh,
it's jacking me up today. Sorry. Yep, that's all good. We got some nice badges coming in. What about I saw you asking a couple questions about meta stuff in the chat.
Oh, yeah. We've got a couple of twins left to change, but almost all of the changes are done. We're getting KMets a special A-team llama in there as well. So that should be sorted within the next couple of weeks, and then we're good to go and hit the update button. But a big shout out to everyone who posted things that we'd missed in the meta update channel. It's 1,111 llamas like going through it manually, where there's not like a script. Is takes a lot of time, and it's easy to miss things like when you're staring at it again and again and scrolling through. So we really appreciate everyone who's helped us and pointed out things. And if we've missed anything again, well, we'll just do it again.
No stress. This is the last meta update, you guys, ever. This is your last chance to buy ETH.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, like you look at them again and again and again, and you just kind of like lose track of them, and then you've got the spelling and blah, you know, everything. So it's taken a while, but we had plans to have already pushed it much earlier. But the kind of the growth in the badge app has been like unprecedented, and like for anyone who doesn't know, it's like Hawthorne's not here, but you know, we get messages from whoever wants to deploy, and primarily Hawth or either myself, if then, you know, we run up and try and find someone for it, and then open a room and then add in developers on their side, and then we have to, you know, load up the payments and make sure it's all authorized and stuff. So there's a lot of work going on like behind the scenes, which has taken our time, and that's running much more smoothly now. Like we're kind of getting out of the first beta phase, right? Where it's been in manual mode and now ready to start building the app and make it permissionless and it runs by itself. And then we can concentrate on other things too.
Yeah, you guys really have been carrying the entire load of that whole process. I mean, just the two of you. So being able, and then obviously there's other people that are, you know, that are working on other projects, like Dina with her auction house, you know, version 2 auction house launch, but that has, the badge system has sucked a lot of the you know, ability or time out of you two. So that, and I'm just in charge of shilling. So it's not like I'm actually doing anything useful.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like Dina's working really hard on reskinning their auction house, and the idea is going to be that, you know, like a protocol can come in and they can use it, and everything's there ready for them to reskin it to their needs, or that Llamas themselves can use it, and you kind of get like the base auction house function. So it's kind of like the Llamas auction house, or if it's like a kind of like a customized job, you know, powered by the Llamas. And I think as you know, as the market picks up and you see kind of volumes coming back into NFTs, which they recently have done, you know, the past week especially, then, you know, I think that will be a really good tool for the community going forward, like to bring in fees, to launch projects, to incubate them, you know, to kind of help us like meet more verticals. This is where you show, Cogsy.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I burned up. I went through my entire list. I've got that thing I printed out on my wall where I just like go through my shill list, and I got to the bottom of it and I ran out of stuff. So it's not like I can come up with an original thought or anything. I have to have it pre-fed to me. Anybody else have any questions specifically to Panda that they wanted to ask? Because I mean, I was reading chat the whole time also, but I can only poke and prod so much. I mean, you mentioned new partnerships and stuff like that, and you know, going and trying to onboard new projects. But there's also other. How do I go about this? People can pick at you if they want to, and ask you like specific questions. But I think it's going pretty good. I mean, from my standpoint, I just harvested like 1.7 million BRRRR tokens, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Didn't Cogsy just say that all he does is shill? That he doesn't even do that?
I just admitted that I have no purpose.
I know, it's like, what?
One
Dude, if you
BRRRR,
weren't such a
$1.
great Graze DJ, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't even be here right now.
Yeah, we might need to professionalize.
Oh yeah, you know, hire a pro. You know, pay that person. You gonna do a governance vote to pay a DJ?
Mistakes were made.
80 cents an hour is just enough to do my daily base claims for my free NFTs that I claim on base. This is the first time that I don't have a guest set up for the next one, for the 10th.
Oh, we'll have someone set up by then. I think we've had a lot going on, but I've spoken to a few people who are keen, just try and make the dates work.
We talked about a couple of partner of new guys that we hadn't talked to before that were interested in coming on.
Yes, well, a couple of those are through the badges, which we're still waiting to confirm. So it kind of, depends on that as well. And I guess we'll just take it from there. We've got, normally we're overbooked, so it's quite nice to take the pressure off.
Yeah, this was a big one today, but I mean, just being able to make KMets talk for an hour straight and then viciously harass KP, and we got the joke. We got the red cap joke. So what else do we need?
Joke is best explained.
As long as I have something to tease him about for a couple weeks.
Sweet. Right.
I'm gonna go wrap it up, guys. Thank you. I'll get this thing uploaded to YouTube ASAP. Thanks, KMets. Thanks,
Thanks
Panda.
for having me on, man. It
Thanks,
was great to be
KP.
here.
Yeah, thanks, KMets. All right. Cogsy, please don't post it too quickly. We got to go and jump on that CLEV CVX.